What if I told you that every single event in your daily life is part of a grand story prepared just for you to help you evolve? Hello, this is Marilo. In our last video, we introduced Itzhak Bentov's Stalking the Wild Pendulum, which described his vision of the universe gained through meditation. Today, we're going to dive even deeper into his journey. His second book, A Brief Tour of Higher Consciousness, was mostly written before he tragically died in a plane crash and was later completed by his wife, Myrtala.
In this book, he describes the structure of our universe, the activities of higher beings, and the intentions of the Creator. So let's begin our exploration of A Brief Tour of Higher Consciousness.
This world is a hologram. First, let's look at the structure of the universe we live in. According to Itzhak Bentov, the universe is shaped like a torus. But here's a fascinating point. While he calls it a torus, his diagrams don't show a hollow donut. They show something that looks exactly like a sliced apple. At the very center, like the apple's core, is the Creator, a point where matter flows out from a white hole and eventually returns to a black hole. This apple-like structure, he says, is the same fundamental pattern we see in a seed or an egg. And Bentov says this universe is a single hologram. A hologram is a special film that records light information, and its most incredible feature is that every tiny fragment contains the entire image. This is also reflected in the fact that the shape of the universe and the shape of a seed are one and the same. This strange property is hard to imagine, isn't it? So here's an idea, and this is just my personal take on it. It becomes much easier to understand if we think of this world as one giant mirror. A giant mirror, at some point, shatters into countless pieces. Myriad fragments scatter across space. Now, if you were to pick up one of those tiny fragments and look into it, what would you see? What's reflected there isn't just a piece of the mirror, but each fragment, from its own unique angle, reflects the entire world. The hologram works on this very same principle. Every tiny piece always contains the complete image of the original whole. And Bentov might be suggesting that each of us is like a fragment of this cosmic hologram, or this giant mirror. The mirror of consciousness that each of us holds reflects the universe from our own perspective, and that reflected light creates our reality. Then that light returns to its source, the Absolute. If the world works this way, it means the reality you see is a reflection projected by your own consciousness. In a way, you are creating the world you experience. It means your troubles and your joys are all connected to the entire cosmos. When you think of it that way, doesn't the world start to look a little different? The multi-layered consciousness within you. So, what are we who are so connected to the universe? Bentov says our consciousness is not just one thing. First, there is the basic consciousness that manages our body's vital functions, like making our heart beat and helping us breathe. We don't consciously know how our hearts keep beating or how we digest food, yet it's all done for us. This is the work of our body's basic consciousness. It's as if we're sitting in the driver's seat of a self-driving car without a license. I feel a sense of gratitude for this basic consciousness that drives us. Thanks for driving me every day. Layered on top of that is the higher consciousness, or what we might call the soul, which we recognize as our self. This soul, he says, exists to have various experiences, using this physical body as a vehicle. And why must we go through these experiences? It's for the process of evolution.
But what does evolution truly mean? According to Bentov, the beginning of evolution is like a grand love story. The creator of the universe was originally a perfect being, a unity of masculine and feminine, positive and negative. But in order to create something, to begin evolving, the creator deliberately split itself in half. Think of it like a single magnet broken in two. The two opposite poles, now at different ends of the cosmos, feel an irresistible attraction, wanting to become whole again. Bentov says that this colossal energy of striving to become one again is the driving force of evolution. So why go through all this trouble to evolve? Can't we just stay as we are? Here, Bentov offers a shocking answer. To understand it, we first need to grasp the hierarchical structure of the universe he describes. It turns out that the creator of our universe is not the ultimate being. If we use a corporate structure as an analogy, our creator is like a site manager in charge of the site that is our universe. And this site manager has a boss, the one who oversees 49 sites, including our own universe, is a higher being we can call the Great Overseer. And astonishingly, even this overseer is just a part of a much larger company, the entire created world. With this grand organizational chart in mind, let's return to our question. Why do we need to evolve? The answer, it seems, is that the site manager, our creator, has to pay rent to this great overseer. And this rent isn't money. It's evolved consciousness itself. Therefore, you could say the site manager is running a vast machine designed to distill us. The ultimate goal is to produce its own likeness, that is, to create at least one being from this universe with a consciousness as magnificent as the creator's. This becomes the rent payment to the area manager. So, what does that make me? Just a sacrifice for the site manager to offer up to this great overseer? But at the end of this cosmic journey, there's a stunning plot twist waiting for us. Who is the final boss? Now our journey is finally approaching its end. Beyond the edge of the universe, beyond all hierarchies, who is the final boss of this cosmos? The final boss that Bentov discovered in his meditation was not a god, nor an alien, but your own self. Bentov says that the supreme god of this world is you and me and everyone. We were all originally one pure consciousness, the void. At some point, this supreme self started a game of hide-and-seek with itself. The self wrapped a piece of itself in layers of blankets, like ego, ignorance, and the physical body, making it forget who it truly was. Bentov described this as being like a beggar who has forgotten that he is a king. And life is the grand adventure of peeling off these blankets one by one to remember our true self. The site manager, the area manager, and even the entire universe they inhabit
If you trace it all back, the grand truth is that it was all me. To put it in modern terms, it seems the supreme God, me, thought, I'm so perfect, it's boring, and wanted to play an RPG, a game where it creates a powerless version of itself, overcomes various challenges, and journeys back to its original self.
If what Bentov says is true, then our daily lives and the surprising events that sometimes occur are all event holograms designed to help us evolve. It's as if we are playing an RPG inside a very realistic VR. The rules of this game seem to be that we attract the next event based on the frequency of our thoughts, whether they are positive, grateful, joyful, exciting, or negative, angry, envious, sad. This is what is commonly known as the law of attraction. If more people truly understood this, the world would become a kinder place. Why? Because we'd realize that hurting someone else is, in the end, just hurting ourselves, and that any negativity we put out into the world will eventually come back to us. I truly hope that this knowledge can reach as many people as possible. If this book sounds interesting to you, I highly recommend reading it. You'll find even more fascinating things inside. And I would be happy if you could find this video interesting. Please subscribe and hit the like button. Thank you for watching until the very end. I'll see you next time.